Greetings, hello, hello, welcome on in. Unoptimized Fool here from the closet. Let's talk about 11.1.7. Now, as you guys know, it's coming out, right? Next week, next Tuesday. And I've already talked about all the features, but I want to kind of go more into detail about some of the features. And the two that I want to talk about today are the new UI additions, right? We're seeing the rotation helper as well as the one button play it all class, right? Now these are a little bit controversial, so I want to talk about them because it's leading into a system that is basically going to be seeing a restriction of add-ons and starting in the pre-patch of midnight. Obviously it's not just going to be one day there's add-ons and then the next day there's just no add-ons, right? Blizzard's adding these functionalities into the game, so eventually it's more accessible. And it's going to be, people aren't going to be depending on add-ons. Because I think we do have a problem, guys, that we need to talk about is our dependency on add-ons. We're seeing a lot of backlash between, and the backlash is from the addicts that have been just slurping on the add-ons since the day they've been released, right? And the major people the big two groups that are really against it are the people who have an addiction, who can't do anything without weak auras, who can't think without weak auras, can't, track things without weak auras, or the people who probably sell custom weak aura packs, and obviously the mod makers are probably against this too, but it's better for the health of the game, I think, in the long run. And it's just gonna be, like any addiction, we're gonna have some crazy withdrawals, but I think we'll be okay. I think what they're offering us, especially when it comes to the rotation helper, it's gonna really help deviate the blow from this systematic change, really. But anyway, in 11.1.7, we are seeing the release of the rotation helper, and basically it's just that you have to enable it, right? It's not going to be enabled by default. It's the same thing with that one button. Actually, the one button thing is just in your spell book if you want to use it, and the helper basically glows the spells that you're going to use next. It's going to both be single target and AoE, right? And it's just going to help you learn your class a little bit more. It's not going to make you a mythic raider by default. It's not going to be like that. Just like Heat Killy, right? The add-on that helps you with rotation. It's not going to make you a goblin in the game. It's just going to help you realize what your things are. Now, this only actually helps with DPS, right? It's not going to help with tanking or healing. It's just for DPS, right? As well as it's not going to integrate cooldowns, right? It's all just going to be offensive. It's not going to have defensive stuff in it. So it's going to be limited. Now, obviously, this is the first iteration of this addition to the game. So again, like anything, they can build upon it and see what the community wants. So obviously, if they just got, added this in and immediately got rid of Heat Killy, which can handle only DPS, but also can handle cooldowns and defensives, then you'll see a lot of people angry about that for sure. So obviously, it's not going to go away overnight. And of course, too, with the one button basically rotation, you just have one button. It cycles through all of the different spells that class has. Now, obviously, to make it not overpowered, there's a 0.2 second cooldown between every spell that you can hit. Now, normally you can just hit those spells, boom, 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 right? But now there's a 0.2 second cooldown. So obviously, you're not going to be a goblin mode. And I've seen so many people, it's this false narrative that, they're making the game so easy. This is accessibility, my mans, okay? It's just for people who with disabilities, right? They don't have control of their hands, limited functionality of their hands. This is going to be perfect for them to use, right? It opens the game up to those people, right? Which is great news, honestly, if you ask me. As well as eventually, we're going to probably see this game on console, right? With Microsoft owning us now, right? We're going to definitely be seeing us on console. They would be stupid not to put this on console, and they just announced their handheld, right? That's going to probably rival the Switch and the Steam Deck, whatever it's called, right? Now, obviously, again, very controversial, again, especially with the add-ons, but I think this is good, right? Again, this is not going to make people outparse you in mythics, okay? If someone is using the rotation helper or using the one button, play all class, and they beat you in DPS, it's a skill issue, right? 100% a skill issue at that point, right? So again, all of this stuff is coming in 11.1.7. You don't have to use it. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. If you don't use Heat Killy right now, you don't have to use it, right? No one's forcing you to play this content. So I don't want to see anyone complaining about this stuff. Again, it's not replacing anything. Again, Hikili will still be accessible if you use that. I use that. I'm going to still use Hikili because, again, I find it still a bit more refined. Obviously, just it's been out longer. Now, eventually, will the WoW stuff be better? Probably, hopefully, since obviously in pre-patch of midnight, we're going to see that restriction for add-ons come in. And again, I'm happy for that stuff. I'm excited to see weak auras hopefully just get fully eliminated. There's a problem with weak auras. We have weak auras for everything. There's people who need a weak aura to tell them not to res after a fight, right? Basically, it makes them hold control for 3 seconds and then they can release. If you need an add-on to tell you not to release after a wipe in a raid so you can get res and go back into the fight, that's a you problem. Honestly, you don't need a weak aura for that. I'm sorry, guys. You don't need a weak aura to tell you when to interrupt. Okay? You just should know when to interrupt. You don't need all this stuff, guys. I promise you. I promise you. Okay? So, again, I want to hear your opinion about this stuff too, because obviously it's important stuff to talk about. I mean, this rotation helper is definitely going to add some, it's going to help you learn classes that you don't really know, and without, going on the guide for Wowhead, Icy Veins. Who wants to do that? I don't. That's for sure. Or just playing a random alt that you're not going to touch after they get to level 80. I don't care about the rotation. Let me just hit that one button real quick. It might be too boring. I don't know. I haven't really tested it yet, but it's just a thing that you can use. And if you don't like it, don't use it. It's okay, right? That's what's cool about accessibility. There's things that if you want them, they're there. If you don't want them, you don't have to use them. You're not being forced to, guys. So let's calm down, okay, guys? It's not the end of the world. Although for the add-on makers, it is, but we'll be okay. But thanks for listening, guys. I want to hear your opinion about this. It's a controversial one, but I think everyone's blown out of the water. I think we'll be okay. We have an addiction. We're going to have some withdrawals. We'll be okay. But Unoptimized Fool from the closet. I'll see you guys next time.